Hello and good morning. It looks like we're in day 8 here. This one right here is some trig, and it looks like you're really going to have to hit with this trig. So when you get it, feel good about it. So, ka, toa, memorize that. All right, so this one right here, Jack's eyes. So Jack is standing here. His eyes are 5 feet above, so make a right triangle. You have a building over here. If you haven't read it, go ahead and read it. So we're going to have to add 5 feet from where the line of sight is. And he's standing 400 feet from the base. So 400 feet would go here. Okay, your right angle's there. And the elevation is 67 degrees. So this is 67 degrees. And you're looking for the height. Remember, you have to add 5 to it. Okay, because that is the line of sight. So this is opposite over adjacent. So that one should be the tangent. So it's going to be the tangent of 67 degrees is equal to opposite over adjacent. You're going to multiply by 400. So get your calculator out and let's do the tangent of 67 times 400. And then add 5. And I get 947, so we're going with that one right there. The next one, Garrett makes a ramp with his skateboard in the shape of a right triangle. So draw a right triangle. There's the ramp right here. Okay, it says with a hypotenuse of 2 feet. So the hypotenuse is that one, the longest side, and a leg of 1 foot. We'll put a leg there. He wants the trigonometric ratio to describe the relationship of these. Okay, so it says select all that apply here. Let's see here. Okay, so this one right here, let me think here a minute. Well, let's see. If we want to know this angle here, that would be opposite over hypotenuse. So that would be the sine. The sine of angle x is equal to opposite over hypotenuse. You want to divide by the word sine. Let's see if that works and gets the arc sine. So 1/2, 1 divided by 2 equals shift and then sine, and you get 30 degrees. So that one does, in fact, work. Okay? If you switch the 1 here, because we don't know where the leg is, then it would be adjacent over hypotenuse. So that would be cosine of angle x is equal to the adjacent over the hypotenuse. And then you're going to divide and get the arc cosine. So we're going to take 1 divided by 2, make sure you press equals, and then hit shift, and then cosine, and we get 60 degrees. Those are the two that work. All right, let's go to the next one. The next one right here, Michaela is shooting a paintball gun at a target in a tree. Michaela's at a point G. Okay, so she's standing here, and the target is at point E. Assuming the paintball shoots straight, what's the angle? So you're looking for the angle of elevation here, so we're going to say x. That's opposite over adjacent. So that's going to be the tangent of angle x is equal to the opposite, 28.2 over the adjacent, 45.8. You're going to divide by the arc tangent, and then you're going to get your answer. So on that one right there, you're going to take 28.2 divided by 45.8, press equals, and then hit shift, and then tan, and I get 31.6, and that is the answer. Okay? All right, on the next one here, the angle of elevation from the view from the top of the building is 50. All right, so draw a right triangle. Put your building right here. And the angle of elevation is 50 degrees. If the viewer is 80 feet away, so 80 feet would go there. Now, let's see, it says the viewer's eyes are 5.5 feet, so you want to pay attention to that. because you're going to have to add 5.5 feet to get this building here. All right, so let's figure this out. This piece right here is opposite over adjacent, so it's a tangent of 50 degrees is equal to opposite over adjacent, and then we got to add the 5. So it's going to be 80 times the tangent of 50 degrees is equal to x. So whatever this is, you're going to add 5 to it, or 5.5. And if you do that, you should get 15 should be the answer. Go ahead and work that right now with your calculator. Go ahead and do page 2. Let me slide this up a little bit or make this a little smaller so you can see it. Okay? All right, let's go to page 2. More trig, it looks like, okay? Remember, you're going to have to be really good with your trig. Let me go ahead and staple these sheets real quick. Okay? So on this back side here, you're looking for this side right here. You're standing right here, so it's going to be adjacent over hypotenuse. So adjacent over hypotenuse is cosine. So it's the cosine of 41 degrees is equal to adjacent over the hypotenuse, which is 30. So it should be 30 times the cosine of 41, and whatever you get is your answer. Okay? So let's just do that one. So it's going to be 41 cosine and then times 30. And if you do that right on your calculator, it should be 22.6. We're going to go with this one. Okay? The next one right here, let's see what's going on. The diagram shows the ramp is 4.5 feet above the ground. Let's think about that. The ramp measures this. Determine and state to the nearest degree the angle of elevation. So you're looking for the angle of elevation. So that's opposite over hypotenuse, which is the sine of angle x, is equal to 4.5 over 11.75. You're going to divide by the word sine and get the inverse. So this is an inverse function here, and it should be 23 degrees is your answer. So make sure you mark that. All right, number 7, it says, I guess there's a diagram here. All right, so you're looking for the hypotenuse, I guess. All right, so let's see what's going on. So if we're looking for this, this is going to be opposite over hypotenuse, and that one is going to be the sine of 40 degrees is equal to opposite over hypotenuse. So you're going to move this up and move that down. So x is going to be 15 divided by the sine of 40. And if you look here, you're going to have to work each one of these on your calculator. Okay. Now, secant, that would be the cosine. So that would be the inverse cosine. Cosecant would be the inverse sine. Okay? So the answer turns out to be this one right here. Okay? So let's just check that. All right, so let's work it the way we had it. Let's take 15 divided by 40 and then press sine and then press equals. I'm looking for 23.3. And since we know, since I'm telling you this is the answer, let's see if that works. So press 40, shift, and then press sine, and then times 15, and see what we get. All right, that obviously didn't work. So let's see here, 40, and then shift, and sine. All right, so apparently we're going to have to go over the cosine and cotangent functions in order to match it up. This is correct. We just were never taught these inverse functions here, cotangent and whatnot. Okay, so we're going to have to do that maybe when we finish this. All right, let's keep moving. Work side 3. What is the exact value of the tangent of A? So if you're standing at A, that would be opposite over adjacent. So it's going to be 2 square root of 22 over 9. Opposite over adjacent. And so there it is. So you're going to take 22, and then you're going to do shift square root, and then you're going to press equals, divide by 9, and I get 0.52 as the exact answer. Okay? On this one right here, it says a ratio. A ratio is a fraction. Okay? So you're standing at P, so put a dot right there, and you want the sign. The sign is opposite over hypotenuse. So the opposite would be 15 over 17, and that's the one we're going to go with, and that is the correct answer. Make sure you know how to do your trig functions here, okay? All right, so it wants the sine of angle A. If you're standing there, that's your hypotenuse. This one's your opposite. This is the adjacent. So you want so, ka, toa. Write that down so you memorize it. So you want the sine. So you want opposite. You're standing here, opposite over hypotenuse. So you want 9 over this one here. So 9 over 3 square root of 13. Okay, and you can reduce that. 3 goes into 3, or 9 3 times. 3 goes into 3 once. And so that's what you get when you reduce it for the first one. Cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse, so that's going to be 6 over 3 square root of 13. And again, 3 goes into 6 2 times, and you can reduce that one as well. And then tangent is opposite over adjacent, so that's 9 over 6. And you reduce, 3 goes into 9, 3 goes into that. So make sure you reduce it 2 times. This one right here says find the perimeter of this triangle here. Well, perimeter, you got to add up the sides, okay? So in order to get the sides, you need this one and you need this one. You're standing here, so that's opposite over hypotenuse. So that's the sine of angle x, or the sine of 38 degrees, is equal to opposite over hypotenuse. So you're going to multiply 18 times the sine of 38. Go ahead and do that right now on your calculator. This one is adjacent over hypotenuse, so that's the cosine of 38 degrees is equal to adjacent over hypotenuse. And then you're going to multiply 18 times the cosine of 38 degrees, and then you're going to add them all up. So work that out. When you work that out, you should get this. Okay, there it is. Work side 3, or the last side rather. Make sure I didn't skip one. Doesn't look like it. Okay, what's the ratio of the cosine of z? Z's here. Cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. So you need to get the hypotenuse here. Okay? So you're going to look at your L right here, and you're going to do Pythagorean Theorem. So on that one right there, you want to start off with Pythagorean Theorem. So let me think here a minute. Let's put a x here, or let's say a question mark. So it's going to be 16 squared plus 12 squared is equal to the hypotenuse squared. H is going to be the square root. So it's going to be 144 for 12 squared. 16 times 16, I think, is 256. And it is. Okay, so 256 right here. And then you want to add up plus 144, and then press shift square root, and I get 20. So this side is 20. So the ratio, the cosine is of z means you're standing at z, is going to be adjacent over hypotenuse. So that would be 12 over 20. And when you reduce that, 4 goes into 12 3 times, and 4 goes into that 5. I'm going to say 3/5. And so for that one, I'm going with A, and that is the correct answer. Let's take a look at this one here. I'm not quite sure what they want us to do for this right here. Okay, this looks like it might be an honors problem, so I'm going to skip it for now. This one right here, the figure shows the right triangle. On the listed values, which are equal to the sine of B, so I guess you're going to be here. All right, select all that apply. So the sine is opposite over hypotenuse, so that's B over A. So b over a would be this one for sure. The cosine of c, if you look at c, if you're standing at c, the cosine is adjacent b over a, so that one would work. Okay, and then finally this one right here, angle B, that is an answer choice, but again, we didn't deal with this, and that's maybe more towards the honors class. All right, that's it for today. Let's turn our attention now to MCR. MCR, if you have the same base, like I do here, and you multiply, write that down, same base and multiply, then you add exponents. That's the rule. So this is going to be 4 to the 4th power. They don't want you to expand it out, so just leave it like that. Okay, this one right here, you have n and n, and you're multiplying. So that's going to be n to the 4 plus 4, which is going to be n to the 8th power, and then 2 times 5 is going to give you 10. So you multiply your numbers here. There's a 1 right here. So 6 times 5 is 30r to the 3rd power because 1 plus 2. So if you get stuck with that, let me know. Have a good morning.